What if I told you one of Africa's biggest football giants has a weakness, and that weakness is Bafana Bafana? Because for years, Morocco hasn't been the hunter, they've been South Africa's daily bread. Once you see the history, you'll understand why. On paper, Morocco should dominate this matchup. They have world-class players playing in Europe. They have huge World Cup history. They even shocked the world at the 2022 FIFA World Cup, becoming the first African team ever to reach the semi-finals. But Bafana Bafana has always been a different problem, because South Africa doesn't play Morocco's game. Instead of slow possession, they bring speed, chaos, and fearless attacking football, and historically, Morocco has struggled to control that. In fact, across multiple meetings in Africa, Cup of Nations, and qualifiers, Bafana Bafana has repeatedly spoiled Morocco's plans. And what happened next shocked all of Africa. Long before the recent shocks, long before the headlines, this story had already begun. Rewind to the late 90s, back when Bafana Bafana was rising and African football was entering a new era. In 1998, South Africa faced the Morocco national football team, and they didn't blink. They battled, they believed, and they beat Morocco 2-1, a statement win, a warning shot. Then came 2002, same matchup, same tension. Same outcome, South Africa humiliated Morocco again, this time 3-1, different year, same story. Different stage, same script. That's when a pattern began to form, because for Bafana Bafana, Morocco wasn't a mountain, they were a meal, not a nightmare, but something closer to daily bread. Game after game, moment after moment, South Africa kept finding a way. Slice by slice, win by win, they didn't just compete with Morocco, they consumed them. And in football, when one team becomes your habit, your rhythm, your routine, it stops being luck, it becomes belief. But what happened in 1998 and 2002 is where this story really begins. And this is where it gets interesting. When these two met in the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations round of 16, everyone expected Morocco to cruise through. After all, this was the same Morocco team that had just conquered giants like Portugal national football team and Spain national football team at the World Cup. But nobody talks about this, the team that consisted superstars like Hakimi, Ounahi, Amrabat, Mazraoui. In fact, all their stars were available. Bafana Bafana didn't care about reputations. They matched Morocco pound for pound, bicep for bicep. But here's the scary part, South Africa played with local-based unknown players, players who are underrated and not even recognized worldwide. Even a simple FIFA video game commentator doesn't know South African players. But all those things didn't matter. From the first whistle, South Africa were all over Morocco. They defended brilliantly. Then in the 57th minute, Evidence Makgopa scored. Morocco pushed forward desperately. They even got a penalty late in the match. But the pressure was too much. South Africa sealed the win with another goal from Teboho Mokoena. South Africa won 2-0 and Morocco had no answer. One of the biggest shocks of the tournament, and proof that Morocco simply struggles against Bafana Bafana. Here's something many fans don't realize. Morocco is built to beat European-style teams, structured, possession-based, predictable in movement. But South Africa plays something completely different. Bafana football is about quick combinations, explosive wingers, unpredictable movement. South Africa is more like Brazil. They depend more on skill instead of power and physique. They don't depend on long balls and corner kicks. Players like Themba Zwane and Relebogile Mofokeng thrive in this chaos. Defenders hate marking players who constantly move between lines, and Morocco's defensive system often struggles when the game becomes fast and unpredictable. That's exactly where South Africa is most dangerous. And it's not just the senior teams. The rivalry has spread to the next generation. In 2025, South Africa's Under-20 team made history. At the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations final, they faced Morocco. Morocco were favorites again, but once again South Africa shocked them. A stunning goal from Gomalimo Kekana secured a 1-0 victory, giving South Africa their first ever Under-20 African title. Another Moroccan dream destroyed, another South African celebration, and another reminder that this rivalry is changing. And it doesn't stop with national teams, because even at club level, the storm still follows Morocco. South African giants like Mamelodi Sundowns have carried that same fearless energy into African battles. In 2023, they faced Moroccan giants Wydad Casablanca in the African Football League final and delivered a performance that echoed across the continent. Even when the pressure rose in the second legs, Sundowns held their nerve and lifted the trophy, champions of Africa. There's also something else people don't talk about, a narrative, an assumption. That because many players from countries like Morocco and across North and West Africa play in Europe, they must automatically be better. But football is that simple. Yes, history plays a role. Many of these nations have long-standing connections with countries like France. Connections that opened pathways into European academies, leagues, and opportunities. Access, exposure, visibility, that is. Why these teams don't even call players from the local league. But access doesn't equal superiority, because talent doesn't live in one continent. It doesn't wear one passport, and it doesn't follow one path. South African players may not always take the European route. But that doesn't make them less dangerous. In fact, it makes them different, more unpredictable, more expressive, more fearless. Because while others are shaped by structure, Bafana Bafana is shaped by freedom. And when freedom meets structure, you've already seen what happens. So maybe this isn't just a coincidence. Maybe it's not just tactics or form or luck. Maybe it's something deeper. Because when a pattern repeats across generations, across competitions, across continents, it stops being random and starts becoming reality. So now the question is, when Morocco national football team sees South Africa national football team, do they see just another opponent, or do they see a problem they still haven't solved, a storm they can't control, a habit they can't break, their daily bread? And if they meet again tomorrow, who really walks in with confidence and who walks in with doubt? Please leave a comment if you think South Africa is Morocco's biggest nightmare.